So the way the room connectors work is here. I'll show you on Nuke. This is a good example because these are technically all large nodes, but these two large nodes can only spawn two types of connectors. If we go to the preview, which is either an open hallway, broken electrical box, or a standard heavy containment zone door. I don't know what this one is missing. I would need to check with the version history what's missing in here. But yeah, and it also has a fallback type of open hallway, so this is like the default of what it must spawn in case nothing else is compatible. And the way it works is through compatibility cross-checking. So if we had another hallway somewhere here, and this hallway wanted to have a standard door or or pipes, for example, and it would not support open hallway at all. So we're gonna remove that. Right, that. So the only things that it supports is the standard door or pipes. And then if we look at the Nuke door part, it supports the regular doors, it supports bulkheads, it supports different boxes, but it does not actually support the pipes. Let's see what it would look like if it supported pipes. Let's go for pipes. And yeah, you can see why it doesn't support pipes. So the cross-checking would basically eliminate it down into a standard door, because pipes cannot spawn, open hallways cannot spawn, this room cannot have bulkheads, and through this like handshake exchange, it would spawn the standard door because there is no other choice. But instead of the door, if we had like boxes, it would spawn the boxes because both of those rooms agreed to have the boxes. And then if there is no compatibility found, it would go through the fallback type of whichever room has higher priority. You see the connection priority here. If its spawn priority is equal, then it's like it's pretty much at random. I mean, there's no actual randomness, but there's like whichever was first to spawn takes the priority. But yeah, if there is like, if you have really good reasons that you absolutely cannot spawn like a open hallway here, then you can, I mean, if you don't really care what spawns in here, then you can lower the priority of it, or actually make it lower like that. And then whichever fallback type of this door would... I'm kind of going too much into that, but basically that's how the things work. There's no more small nodes and large nodes. Now let's take a look at why 127 does not support the bulkheads. So in that context in here, we don't really have much choice when it comes to this area in here. That's because this doorway is part of the mesh. There's like nothing we can spawn here because it's basically part of the mesh. But I'm gonna show you what it would look like anyway. Just for the... I think I'm gonna just spawn bulkheads normally to make it more visual. Yeah, you can see bulkheads are wide, and that is primarily the reason why sometimes they don't fit in the rooms, because they take away... they usually don't work at angled rooms. So like it looks fine if the room was a little narrower, or the wall was straight or whatever, that would look fine. But whenever we have any sort of angles here, you can start seeing that it's overlapping into that. It's not a big deal. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, it does kind of look bad from this perspective. It's kind of going into the fence. It could technically work, but then again, if the doors would open, I mean, that's solvable through having different mesh. Like, we could fix that. But if I open the actual bulkheads doors, oh my god, I would need to find... Okay, there we go. It would just open and there would be a small doorway inside. Again, that would be solvable through changing the mesh, so it's not a huge deal. The problem is this overlapping over here. Now let's see this connector. Oops. In this case, we kind of have a similar problem. The thickness is the problem. You see that it's getting into the fences, and it's also clipping out. Like the hallway physically is thicker. You probably can't... Oh yeah, you can see it from here. So yeah, it would be another problem. It's just too thick, and most importantly, it goes into that fence, and it doesn't look very well. And the exact same problem occurs on the other one. So that's the reason we just removed it. We didn't think too much about it. Like, if we really cared about having bulkheads in here, we could fix it by changing the mesh slightly in here. Perhaps getting rid of this fence and just having a longer pillar. But that wouldn't look that good. basically it comes down to visual. We didn't consider that having bulkheads in here is really that much of a deal. And yeah, we just decided to make a compromise and choose visuals over being able to have bulkheads in here. That's basically the long